There was a MAGA crowd that showed up to Los Amigos in person this morning. And they were there with the sole purpose of trying to convince Los Amigos attendees to vote yes on the recall. And they were giving us all sorts of conspiracy theory bullshit nonsense. It was pretty crazy to watch, but that's what a true public meeting looks like. And this is one of the reasons that a small minority of crazy QAnon MAGA people have been able to actually influence politics in California, is because these people are not afraid to show up, get in your face, and give you ridiculous fucking arguments. Even before we were in the pandemic, I went to a coffee meet and greet for Sharon Quirk Silva. She was doing coffee like weekly, I think it was weekly or maybe it was monthly, coffee talks. And I saw a very similar contingent. It was not the same people. The people who showed up today were like Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, I'm not sure, somewhere in that range. And these are hard. First of all, let me explain something to you. Just because you are of that diversity does not mean that you are incapable of racism. It does not mean that you're incapable of sexism. It does not mean that you are incapable of actually being dismissive of the concerns of specific communities who have been disenfranchised for decades, centuries, etc. It simply means that you showed up, you have a certain belief system that is unpopular, you did not win the governor's race, and now you are supporting a loophole to try and make it so that a very small portion of California voters get their will enacted and overrule the will of the people. That's what it freaking means. But I saw the same thing happen at a coffee meet and greet for Sharon Quirk Silva, who is one of the assembly representatives up in the northern part of the county. I showed up, and there was an entire contingent of AAPI MAGA people who showed up to do the same damn thing. But in that case, they were attacking non-binary and transgendered individuals. They were attacking the education that was enacted through the California Healthy Kids Act, or something. I think that's what it was called. Where they were putting out smear campaigns. And this is how they do. They've been doing this with flyers. They've been creating fear and conspiracies and everything else, trying to create these scenarios where they do the lizard people shit. Where if you support left-leaning politics, if you're a Democrat, then you supposedly are part of this Nazi fucking conspiracy theory of lizard people. It's gross. And I'll tell you straight up, I'm so glad that I'm not showing up in person, because I highly doubt a single one of those fuckers was vaccinated. And they exposed everybody in the room to potentially exposed everybody in the room to whatever diseases they might be carrying right now, because that is a condition of attending Los Amigos in person. You have to be vaccinated. So my question is, are you actually asking to look for their vaccination cards? Because I don't think a damn one of them are actually vaccinated. That looks like a QAnon contingent to me. And these are the same types of people who keep showing up to city council meetings and to our county board of supervisors and our board of education and trying to enact their will and their conspiracy theories and all of their bullshit to try and overrule the will of the people. And this keeps happening over and over again. Obviously, these are public settings. They're allowed to come in, that we do have freedom of speech. But it doesn't mean that we have to take them seriously. And it does mean, look, if they're not fucking vaccinated, they shouldn't be let in the door. That is a basic rule. Keep people healthy and safe. If these people are not keeping people healthy and safe, they should not be allowed in the room. I don't care how much free speech they are entitled to. If they can't do the basics of actually protecting the room from spreading a pandemic, they shouldn't be allowed in. Yeah, I'm a little fired up. I've never seen that happen before, but apparently they did this once before when Trump was running in 2016 or something like that. That's what one of the dudes said, is that he came out then. People can be of political leanings in any which way direction. It It's not like everybody of color is left-leaning and everybody who's white is right-leaning. I mean, like, it doesn't work that way. And no, it doesn't mean that just because you might be like part of one community doesn't mean that you can't be racist and sexist and homophobic and transphobic and misogynistic and everything else. Ableist. These things can coexist. And this is one of the problems I've had with various political contacts too, is that they think that if they're working with people of the Latino, Chicano, Hispanic persuasion, that somehow they can't possibly be racist and have these horrible hate beliefs. Fucking wake up, people. Wake up.